for no other reason that in the event of the package getting lost, it makes up for the inconvenience. And so when a package gets to Canadian Customs, they tax it at the full value that the package is insured for.
So you're
and
they shouldn't be taxing it at all, as per Richard.
Yeah, but then there are some provinces that will also tax you. There's sometimes you'll only get taxed once, but in a lot of instances you get taxed twice. So it really doesn't pay for Canadians to buy from the U.S. It's actually cheaper for them to buy it locally.
Well, and Richard, if you're still listening, I'm going to file a formal complaint here. We're going to stop shipping in goods that are made in Canada into the United States until Canada drops their tax on the gold and silver.
On Canadians.
There you go. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, let's hear it for our brothers in Canada.
Yeah. Don in Nevada. Hello, Don.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This could be a hard act to follow, but here goes. You know that Arnie out there in California has initiated and put into the system Arnie dollars, known as IOUs.
Mm-hmm.
The banks were taking them out there up till last Friday. And what I'm wondering is, what's the problem with Arnie dollars as opposed to Ben Bernanke Fed dollars? Why is the bank stiff-arming someone else's...
Because they're not in control of it, Don?
No, there's another reason, too, John, and that is that the federal government can make as many Federal Reserve notes by asking the Fed to do so in an endless supply.
Yeah.
The state of California cannot create Arnie dollars. They are only creating them on a temporary basis or at least they say it's temporary, to fulfill bills that they own. Conceptually, the federal government, via the Fed, can print all kinds of Federal Reserve notes.
Well, yeah, but...
The state of California can't do that.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but he's the governor of California, and that's the state jurisdiction. Couldn't he go to the state banks and say, look, you're going to take these because you're state banks?
Yes.
And, gee, couldn't that kind of short-circuit the Fed out in California and start a whole new economy?
Why, as long as California paid the interest and principal. I talked to a stockbroker a couple of days ago in California. He got a tax return for a few $1,000s and got one of these IOUs, Arnie money. And supposedly on October the something or other, they're going to get their money plus interest.
Yeah.
But there are still some banks, not the big ones, some banks who are accepting them.
Oh.
And I don't know which banks they are, but I have heard some are.
They must be state banks.
Probably.
Well, a whole new dynamic could be starting here.
You know what I found?
Unless they snuff out Arnie.
Yeah, well, they're not going to do that. He's too much of a player with it.
Why? He's got a Nazi belt buckle.
Well, you know, Arnold is in a conundrum out there with the more conservative pursed minds in California. On one hand, he's passing out these IOUs. He's complaining that he's got budget shortfalls. Basically, the state is bankrupt. But when asked the question about funding for the illegals and whatever else, unemployment, you know, you name it, free medical care, whatever, now he's not going to touch that. He's further going to put California in an ongoing hole. And the old axiom, the old saying is, you know, if you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. Well, that's exactly what he's still doing out there.
Couldn't he start his own country with his Arnie dollars?
Well, I'm inviting Arnold Schwarzenegger to go back to Austria any day. I mean, he couldn't get back there fast enough as far as I'm concerned. But the point of it is that there's social net programs for the people that shouldn't be in this country are going to continue to the tune of billions more of California going in debt. But Arnie's not going to do that. He's going to continue passing on Arnie dollars or his IOUs.
That's because he's a National Socialist.
There you go. He had good upbringing.
Well, you know, they could do a scam with casinos over here in Reno and work with the state banks over here and expand the turf.
You know what's really sad about this? That Arnie Schwarzenegger the Terminator icon. You know, a guy who made a lot of movies. He was a good action hero. He was almost a caricature on screen. But he used his popularity in in California, to dump all over Gray Davis. That wasn't Gray Davis's deal. Yeah, Arnie come up with a few nice little quips about Gray Davis, and he was the laughingstock of California, without even the people in California understanding what happened at the clutches of Enron and Ken Lay. I mean, this was ridiculous. But there he is.
I guess the last question is, why did the banks accept him in the get-go?
Well, they don't think that they're going to get paid off. And if I own municipal bonds in California, for California municipalities, I sure wouldn't own them.
Yeah.
I would have dumped them. I dumped them a long time ago, for that matter.
I would have traded them in for Arnie dollars.
Second part to the question, gentlemen, what were they accepting? Exactly what was it they were accepting? Were they accepting money, or what was it the banks were accepting?
You mean the ones I mentioned that some were accepting?
Yeah, the banks were accepting these IOU Arnie dollar things. What exactly was it that they were accepting?
IOUs.
A promise to pay.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Just like the Ben Bernanke dollars, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a full faith in the credit system.
And I think that even Bernanke dollars are probably worth more than Arnie dollars, because they have the ability to keep on printing them, and Arnie doesn't.
And they have the guns backing them.
Well, that's true, too.
I'll be back. Don, thanks for your call.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Gentlemen, Robbie, you have a little chore here to do before the break.
Yes.
Well, in light of the Mint, once again, the Mint's not going to be making fractional gold coins, period. All it's going to be making is 1-ounce coins. So getting fractional coins is becoming harder and harder. British sovereigns, at some point in time, we're going to run out of these again. British sovereigns, $265. No guarantee what they're going to be. Can't guarantee they're going to be kings or they're going to be either kings or queens. Order 20 or more for $5,300. Receive a free subscription to the International Forecaster and or an extension in a fine ceramic mug, courtesy of RBN. And
you also get the James Talmage Stevens, the 3 mini books on how to prepare in other aspects of your life for food. You're going to need it. We'll be back. By the way, the James Talmage Stevens books on anything from canning, storage food, what to look for, what to stay away from, how to get the best buys out there, these are only done ebook. They can only be emailed. We're not going to get into the business of printing these things out and packing them up and paying for the postage on them. If you haven't noticed, the one-armed bandits in the United States Postal Service, well, they're just going gonzo. I don't even know, 44 cents now for a lousy stamp for a business envelope? At any rate, those are available only via the email. They'll be emailed, and make sure whatever format that you've got is compatible with what we have. Got any questions? Just call the network, 800-724-2719. And while you're doing that, it is the slow time of the season for everything. On top of the impending and second stage of the Great Depression that's going to be greater than the Great Depression, it's summertime. People are out doing whatever. They're in their summer mode, trying to have a little fun under the sun. And, of course, that affects what type of business we do. Well, if you've got all the gold that you need, I'm happy for you. But we have bills to pay here at the network. Some of our advertisers, due to not enough business out there, were forced to drop. So we've got to make up the difference. And a lot of you listening to the program today, you sneaky Pete's, you come in, listen to this Tuesday program, and you drink your fill, and we're elated. We're happy for it. That's what we're here to do. But contribute to the network. please, we're doing a pledge drive. We've still got bills we've got to catch up on. So please, if you're not buying a package of gold today for $5,300, the 20 British sovereigns, you got enough gold? Fine. Call the network, 800-724-2719, and make a donation. You know, we sell these products for the cheapest rate we possibly can. We don't gouge people. We're not on the phones calling you 24/7, day in and day out. Hey, I got a hot deal on some more gold. You know, no, we're not high pressure at all, folks. You do a deal with Republic Trading Group through Robbie Noel with this network, it's smooth sailing. No glitches, no hassles, no fuss, no muss. Any problems that arise, we dispatch them readily.